What can you tell me what we look forward to with Jamie this season? He's gone through so much. He's lost the love of his life, and now he's had to go through a battle. What do you think about his personal struggle as far as like dealing with that pain? I feel like Caitriona and her character has more to put her mind into, like with the baby and all that just kind of floods in. But Jamie doesn't have that. He has to just kind of deal. Can you talk to us about a little bit about that?
I think you absolutely expressed that perfectly. I think, you know, he sends Claire back. She has a life and a child to live for. Jamie's, you know, safe in the knowledge that she'll be looked after. He knows that Frank will care for them. But he goes to the battle to die, to live his last moments with the men that he loves and sort of do the right thing by them. He doesn't expect to survive. He knows history has said that that everyone will be killed. So it's a surprise to him that he survives. And the man he becomes is, what does he have to live for now? He has nothing. You know, his people are being wiped out. They're being cleared out of Scotland. He's a rebel. And so it takes a long time for him to find something to live for and to fight for.
Do you think that she has a little bit easier time than Jamie because she has work and she has Frank and she has the baby to like pour her life into, and maybe he struggles a little bit more with finding his path? Do you think Claire has more of a direction?
Well, she definitely doesn't have to go through imprisonment,
well,
so
no.
that's much easier. But, you know, I think emotional prisons, which is what, you know, both of them really suffer from for most of that time, is, I think they both sort of suffer equally in that sense. You know, I do think that Claire has the joy of having Brianna, but that's also a constant reminder. But, you know, I think anyone who, you know, whatever you read or whoever you talk to about grief, and especially when someone becomes widowed, you know, it never leaves you, but I think it's something that changes over time, and that in some ways, you know, I was struck by something that I heard once where someone said, you know, carrying that little kernel of grief almost becomes something that you want to keep because it keeps being a reminder of that person. And if you lost that, then it would be almost like they never existed. So, you know, I think they both suffer in their own ways. But yeah, I don't know. He's definitely gone through probably a tougher life than she has.
Well, modern conveniences being what they are. You're also going to age, which we saw at the end of the last season. How do you feel about that? As you are going through that and kind of experiencing, like, I feel like we live in a culture that worships youth.
Definitely.
What is it like to like go through that kind of makeup and character change and deal with that?
I mean, it was something that I was really excited about. I think it's, you know, great to see. It's great to allow that on television. You know, the fact that I think sometimes people can be scared of whether it be gray hair or whatever. And, you know, it's interesting because it's a tough one. I personally think it's a great thing. You know, I do think, unfortunately, in our culture that people are scared to allow people to age, and, you know, this idea that as you get older that you're still a sexual being and all of those things. You know, it's unfortunate that people think that those things can't exist. And you know, one of the great things is sometimes when I get letters from people, it'll be about how, you know, they're in their 80s, but they love the sexual nature of the show. And I just think that proves that, you know, age is a great thing and should be celebrated. So,
and I think it's lovely that they let the romance be when they get older, not just in the bloom of youth, but like, it's romantic.
I mean, Diana always says that she wrote this book about how a marriage stays together, and, you know, I think that that's really interesting as you see them, you know, decade after decade, and how they make that work, and what are the new challenges and the new problems that they have to overcome. But it's that they, you know, no matter what, they stick together as a unit.
What is it like being the man that so many women have loved over 20 years? Like, you play him, the man that all the women love. What is that like in real life?
Jamie Fraser is a great character that people have, invested in and invested in Diana Gabaldon's books, and he's like one of those iconic characters. I think that I feel very fortunate to play, and as he's aging, I am too. So hopefully, when I'm 60, I'll be able to play Jamie Fraser when he's 60.